Alright guys, we are in an encounter with Duna, and we are 7 million meters away, which is not bad at all. Um, and we have it set up so we have a burn that'll actually put us in a very nice orbit with Duna. So we're gonna fast forward here and get to our maneuver node, which is a 3 minute and 22-second burn, which isn't bad at all. And we have still over half of the tank of fuel. So we should be in very, very good shape. And I am actually going to do myself a favor right now and point towards the sun. So our rover gets solar power because I made that mistake before. Um, so we're going to make sure that this thing stays powered up before we get to our actual maneuver nodes. So we're going to fast forward. I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible. Because I don't know if you guys noticed, but I am trying to cut the time down on these videos to at least a half an hour, maybe a little bit more if I have to. But I'm trying to keep them down below between a half an hour and less because I don't know, sitting and watching like an hour-long video is a commitment, and I know I don't like watching hour-long Let's Plays, so I figured I'd start trying to cut down these episodes quite a bit so you guys weren't forced to sit and watch, me fail miserably for an hour straight. Um, so we are getting very close to our maneuver node. 3 minutes and 22 seconds. We need to find our node marker, which is right there. We're going to start our burn right now. And hopefully we'll get into a nice orbit around Duna. It is kind of an eccentric orbit, but we'll fix that as we go so we can enter the atmosphere without too much trouble. Um, and I mean, we'll have more than enough fuel to do this too, so that's another thing I'm not too worried about. I am going to throttle down a little bit so the nuclear engine doesn't overheat, because I honestly don't even know what happens when it fully overheats. It might just explode, which would be gnarly. I actually might find that out one episode and just do it just to see what happens. Um, but yeah, so I don't know if you guys know this, but I figured this out randomly one day. But if you push shift and fast forward, oh, you can't warp while you're throttled up. Yay. Um, Actually, I don't want to really cut the engines. Oh, and I can because we are ahead of our burn. If you push, or not shift, alt, ugh. So if you push alt and then do your time warp, it'll actually go to the 4 times time warp, so you can actually throttle up and use, so do this stuff a little bit quicker, so it doesn't take very long, or it doesn't take a lot longer than, you don't have to wait until you're stopped or not throttled up to actually adjust yourself. So if it's a really long burn, you can still fast forward through it, but you got to be careful because the physics don't like it very much. So just keep that in mind. But if you push shift and do the time warp with your greater than and less than keys, I don't know if there's a shorter word for that or shorter term for that. Um, it'll actually fast forward at 1, 2, 3, and 4 times time warp instead of jumping straight to 5. So it'll actually it'll help you guys out in the long run, or at least help you, speed up your space travel at least a little bit. So we're gonna slow ourselves back down here and get back onto our node so we aren't screwing ourselves. And we actually missed the node quite a bit, but it's not bad actually. We're doing just fine. So we're gonna adjust our angle a little bit just to that's a good point. I'm gonna quick save. I'm gonna adjust my angle just a touch, just because this is a little off. So we're gonna try to adjust this. I don't know why it does that. There we go. Oh, other way. That way? Does that look better? A little bit? Yeah, that's a little bit better. Then we can put another maneuver node here. Just that there. And slow down. Actually hit the, try to hit the atmosphere a little bit. Maybe not. That's fine. We'll just do it that way. That way we'll be adjusting everything in one swoop. It'll just make it a lot quicker and easier on us. So we're going to fast forward quite a bit. And hopefully, oh crap. We might have just killed our satellite again, or might have just killed our rover again. Come on, solar panels. There we go. Oh no! Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Get the sun. The sun, that's what we want. Oh, the precious sunlight to charge our batteries. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I had 0 electric charge there for a second, and that would have screwed us. Um, that could have been very bad. Oh, man. I need to pay attention to that more. So I am going to fast forward again and make sure that we are still good. And get to our maneuver node here. And it's an 11-second burn, which isn't bad at all. Fast forward. Ooh, missed it. That's alright. These ones aren't very important. They're not super important anyways. And the reason being is because they're not actually affecting our orbit. We're just kind of like adjusting it a touch. And just had an encounter there with Ike for a second, which we don't want. I mean, we could probably do a flyby, but I'm not gonna risk it because I really don't want to. So we'll do that, and then our next maneuver node is in 15. This orbits are just like so. Your orbit's so slow, so it just takes so long to get anywhere. I mean, look. I mean, we're doing 98 meters per second, which is like liftoff speed when you first start lifting off, which is a little absurd that we're going that slow. Yeah, 4-second burn for this guy. We're actually gonna find our node real quick because I don't know where it is on our nap. Oh, there it is. And then we shall fast forward because I didn't want to fast forward until we get there and then screw myself. Try to find the node. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Start our burn for that. Very minimal. Cool. Alright, so now we're going to adjust our periaps so it actually drags us into the atmosphere just a little bit so we can slow ourselves down. And I'm probably going to put it at about, I don't know, I want to say 30,000 meters or 30 kilometers because the atmosphere is not even close to Kerbin's. But that should be good. That should slow us down quite a bit, hopefully, and actually shrink our orbit, even though we still have just under a half a tank of fuel left, which is awesome. And I want to make sure that we are not going to have a dead satellite on our hands, which we have right now. Come on, sun. There it is. Charging our batteries again. Man, I keep getting so close to screwing myself. Point that directly at the sun. Make sure our solar panels charge up our batteries. Oh man, that scares me every single time. Alright, so we're going to let that charge for a second while we go into our orbit. I just want to make sure that it's full. There we go. So we're going to bring ourselves close to Duna. Slow ourselves down. And we'll actually, you know what? We'll just straight shot it. I mean, maybe. Hold on a second. Let's take a look at it first. Because if I can straight shot it. Oop, pushing the wrong button. Herp. If I can slow ourselves down right now and to land on the surface, which it looks like I can do, but I also don't want to land on a mountain or anything. And it looks like we're landing roughly in a lake bed, with that maneuver. Let's see if we can move it. Those are mountains. Let's see if we can land right there. Just because I want to straight shot this guy right now. So, and on that note, we're going to quick save. So we're going to hit our maneuver node, which is 1 minute and 7 second burn, which isn't bad. And we have plenty of fuel to do it. So we're going to actually just start our burn now at 2/3 of thrust here, just to bring ourselves onto the surface of Duna on the light side of the planet, because I want to make sure that solar panels are charged, and I want to make sure that we are going to easily get onto the surface of Duna. We have a lot of tricks that we can pull out of our bag to get on the surface safely at this kind of trajectory of a landing. So we're just going to do it that way. I'm going to throttle all the way up and try to slow ourselves down as much as I possibly can with the amount of fuel that we have left, which is a lot. We'll probably still won't use all of our fuel, which is awesome, which is exactly what I wanted to happen. I mean, we could land right on that in this area, but these look like mountains, and I really don't want to land on the side of a mountain. That'd be like very, very not what I want to happen. So we're actually, let's see if we can adjust this just a touch. Okay, that's the wrong way. Wrong way on the nav ball. I'm going to go right for this little black spot right here. And good. Looks good to me. So now that we are where we want to be landing wise, at least it looks like that. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Looks like a good landing spot. So we're going to try to land right there. So we're going to go ahead and fast forward and watch the planet come into view. And we have about a quarter tank of fuel left, so no matter how fast we're coming in, we should have plenty of time to slow ourselves down enough that our parachute won't rip off and we won't just come careening into the surface. So we should be good. But I'm actually, just to play it safe, I'm going to slow myself down even more because we're coming in at about almost a kilometer a second, but we're still quite a ways up. There we go. And actually, right now, we are going to quick save, just in case. Alright, let's see if we can get on the surface safely, guys. Oh, I'm nervous, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, we missed our black spot by a little bit, but not by much, which is cool. And we're kind of in a hilly area, but that's fine, as long as we can safely get on the surface. Okay, we're about 30,000 meters above the surface, so we're going to start slowing ourselves down as much as we can with our rocket. Well, actually, we're not entering the atmosphere yet, but we're going to deploy the chute now, just so whenever we do end up hitting the atmosphere, we'll actually be able to slow down quite a bit. But we're gonna keep this nuclear engine full bore as long as we can until our parachute decides to deploy, or at least start the drag. There it is. And then just slow us down, slow us down, slow us down, slow us down. We are entering in pretty hot, and we're gonna crash. Crap. Let's try that again. Shh. So we'll start our burning our engines a little bit quicker this time. How about that? We'll start right now. How's that sound? Thank you for quick save, developers at Squad. I appreciate it very much. So yeah, that didn't go as planned, huh? So we're gonna try to slow our descent quite a bit now that we know that we're coming in way too fast If we slow it down to 500 meters per second, I'd feel a lot better than coming in at 1,000, I guess. So we're slowing down quite. I mean, I guess I could have started this now, but I mean, what are you gonna do? You know, trial and error. But to make that whole trip again would be a nightmare. Um, I just kind of wanted to try to get on the surface as quickly as possible, which I haven't done. I've done twice, I think, in my entire Kerbal Space Program career of playing it. I've only ever gotten onto the surface of Duna twice, and both times were not very successful. The first time I got the rover on the ground, but it broke almost every single one of its wheels, so it couldn't drive anywhere. And the second time I broke the rover in half, and it had 2.5 wheels left, and it couldn't really drive anywhere. So hopefully this time we'll be able to get onto the surface without too much of an issue. We definitely slowed our descent quite a bit, which is good. And we're actually going to keep doing that just to make absolutely sure that we can get there without too much trouble. We're still not even into the atmosphere yet, which is the hard part about getting into the Duna's atmosphere or into aero braking around Duna, because the atmosphere is so low that you have to come in super low on Duna to use the atmosphere to slow yourselves down or slow yourself down. So I'm just avoiding that whole thing completely and just doing it this way because we have plenty of fuel and we might as well use it since we have it. So yeah, we're gonna probably slow down to about, I don't know, something or other. We'll probably end up, we'll deploy our parachute at about 20,000 meters. I don't remember when it just, I mean, I don't know if you guys saw, but I didn't really was paying attention, but I'm not sure when the drag chute actually started to deploy. I wish I kind of had that information like available right here. That'd be cool to have that information just like kind of reachable, or to, you know, be able to get that information. They'll probably start deploying once we start hitting this middle blue of the atmosphere. The parachute will probably deploy, but we're just going to let our engine sit at about half throttle and keep slowing us down, but we're still, you know, coming in, so we won't be hurting ourselves too much. We're actually landing right on the side of it, what it looks to be a nice little mountain. So yeah, hopefully, actually, you know what? We might be in a pretty good spot of landing right now. We're right next to a mountain. We're right next to a hill, anyways. We'll actually deploy our parachute now just to make sure. So whenever it does want to deploy, we'll actually be able to slow ourselves quite a bit. And then once it does deploy, we'll cut our engines, cut the rocket away from us, and then get rid of our heat shield, which we didn't need. And we'll use the mini jet rockets on the side of the sky crane to slow us down even more. I'm gonna actually go get away from this hill a little bit because we are coming in. There's our chute. We're gonna still use our engine to kind of steer us away from this hill a little bit, and until we get to a point where it's, you know, we're almost, you know, stopping ourselves with using the engine or with using this rocket, we'll stop using it. Actually, we'll get rid of it now because it's about 6,000 feet above. We'll get rid of our heat shield as well. We'll make sure our engines are off, but we will fire our 4 external rockets from our sky crane. We'll actually slow ourselves down even more with the rockets here, because we're still coming in pretty hot. Now we're starting to go up, which we don't want to do. So we're going to keep ourselves at a slow, nice, easy descent. Now that our parachute's deployed, I'll look for a shadow. There it is. And we're just going to slowly throttle our engines just to set us nice and easy on the surface. I know I could fast forward right now, but I am scared. Not going to lie. I'm going to set down. As soon as we touch down, we want to get rid of this sky crane. Oh! Okay. Scary. Scary. Oh, I broke a wheel. I broke a wheel, guys. Oh. Oh no, don't tip over. Okay. Now, the scary part. We need to put on our parking brake. Oh. Okay, so we're going to throttle up the engine just a touch, and we're going to disconnect it so it gets away from us. There we go. There we go, guys. We have a rover on Duna. Woo! That was a nightmare. Oh, man. Alright, so now let's see if we can drive this guy around even with a broken wheel. Oh, wait, we have the parking brake on. And if you go into docking, it usually tends to keep you from rolling any kind of rover, which is awesome. So just so you guys know, if you are driving a rover around a planet, to put it in docking mode on your little mini map down here, it makes it a little bit easier to drive around without rolling things. I'm sure you still can roll them, but makes it a little bit nicer. So we're actually going to stop, put our brake on, and we are going to extend all of our instruments and turn them all on. So we got our little radio antenna there. We have our negative gravitoli detector, which is the value is 2.91 meters a second squared, which I don't know what that means. It is negative 30.9 degrees on the surface of Duna. It is 0.3 g of what Kerbin's gravity is. So it's about a third of what Kerbin's gravity is. And that's all the information we have. So there you go, guys. There's a rover on Duna. Thanks for watching this episode. I know it was a long one, but I appreciate it if you stuck it through. And I guess you guys got to see me crash a rover into the surface of Duna for no reason, apparently. And yeah, so next episode we are going to either get a manned landing on Minmus, or send another rover out to Eve and try to get to Eve and get a rover on Eve successfully. Why don't you guys leave in the comments if you guys want to do a manned mission to Minimus, or if you guys want to try to get a rover on Eve. Leave it in the comments, and we will see on next episode what you guys wanted to see. So my name's been Pyker, or I've been Pyker, and don't forget to like the video, subscribe, leave comments, and I will see you guys next time.